Marco Rubio. He was the biggest target of the night. He had all the momentum going into this debate, but the other candidates did everything they could to derail him. And ABC's David Wright joins us from the debate hall with much more. Hi, David.
Hi, Paula. This was a lost opportunity at best for Marco Rubio after his strong showing in Iowa. His big moment to shine, and many would say that he choked. And it all started with David Muir's first question to Chris Christie.
I do want to ask Governor Christie. Governor Christie, you said, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, when it comes to electing a first-term senator.
After that, Governor Chris Christie came out swinging at Senator Marco Rubio hard.
Sure. First, let's remember something. Every morning when a United States Senator wakes up, they think about what kind of speech can I give? Every morning when I wake up, I think about what kind of problem do I need to solve for the people who actually elected me?
Shot after shot.
That's not leadership, that's truancy.
Christie pummeled Rubio for more than 7 straight minutes.
Oh, so wait a second. Is now one of the skills you get as a United States Senator ESP also?
Chris, everybody, you said you weren't going to.
Rubio punched back.
Chris, your state got hit by a massive snowstorm 2 weeks ago. You didn't even want to go back. They had to shame you into going back.
And that's when Rubio got tangled up in his talking points.
Let's dispel with this fiction that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing.
Christie caught Rubio putting that line on instant replay.
This notion that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing is just not
true.
There it is. He knows exactly what he's doing.
The memorized 25-second speech.
Well, that's the reason why this campaign.
Even Rubio's fellow Floridian, Jeb Bush, seemed to jump in on Governor Chris Christie's side.
You learn this. You learn it by doing it. It's not to say, look, let's be clear. Marco Rubio is a gifted politician.
Rubio, clearly rocked by the blows, moved on, jumping back in with Ted Cruz after Martha asked about attacking North Korean missiles before they launch.
It is standard procedure of the United States to shoot down those missiles once launched if they pose a threat to civilians, land, or ships.
Senator Rubio, I'm talking about a preemptive strike on the launch pad.
No, I understand, and but I think it's important to note that it is, and Senator Cruz, I think, was alluding to this as well.
Should I go now? This is actually where one of the other big moments of the night took place. Dr. Ben Carson missing his entrance cue and creating a bit of a logjam as the other candidates kind of awkwardly went around him as he stood waiting here in the wings. Donald Trump, friendly as always, kept him company here for a little while. Apparently, it was very hard for them to hear with all of the applause, and David and Martha were facing this way, so they didn't see what was going on. In the end, Governor Chris Christie actually offered to introduce Governor Kasich, so it was a comedy of errors, shall we say?
David, it's always your big moment. I think it's fair to say all of us that have worked in live television have had moments. It's just a reminder. It's
absolutely
live,
we can relate.
Folks. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. David Wright, thank you for your reporting. We appreciate it. Let's do some Sunday morning quarterbacking now with ABC News political analyst Matt Dowd, who's also in the debate hall there in Manchester. Matt, good morning. So let's start with Rubio. Do you think he was seriously damaged by what happened on stage last night?
Since we're going to stay with the football analogies, I think what happened last night to Marco Rubio was that the young quarterback who had completed a bunch of passes in a row got sacked by the experienced lineman. And now the question is does he have a knee injury, an arm injury, or is he out of the game? I think what it does is two things, Dan. First, it takes away any momentum that he had coming out of Iowa and coming into New Hampshire. I think that's for sure. He's lost that momentum. Can he still finish second? I think he can. But the other thing, more importantly, is this criticism now in the water table? It was something a lot of people thought about. Is he ready? Is he experienced? And is he just a great speech? Or is there more to him? And that's the thing that may be more problematic for him in the long term.
Yeah, can he recover? Chris Christie went hard after him. I think we were all reminded that Christie is a former federal prosecutor. Do you think that actually helps Christie, or will it help perhaps somebody else on the stage?
I think it might help Christie a little bit, but the problem for Chris Christie is right now here in New Hampshire, he's at 6 or 7 in the polls in the single digits. So even if he gets a little bit of bump, 2 or 3, it's not going to help that much. I think it could help others on the stage that came in watching Marco Rubio's momentum rise, and now that was stopped by Chris Christie.
Let's talk about the guy who is leading in the polls, Donald Trump. Do you think he did anything that's going to impact his front-runner status? In particular, I'm referring to what John Karl said he'd never seen before, which is a candidate actually attacking members of the audience.
Well, first, I actually think he's going to benefit from that. I think there's a lot of supporters of his and a lot of people out there that say, yeah, the party is taken over by contributors, the party is taken over by big special interests, and Donald Trump took them on in the audience. That's, I think, a benefit to him. I think Donald Trump, I wouldn't say he won the debate, but I would say he won the night because he walked in here with a double-digit lead, and he comes out of here with a double-digit lead. And the main person that was competing to beat him in New Hampshire, Marco Rubio's momentum was stopped. So I think Donald Trump is probably very happy about the night last night.
Okay, so there are 8 GOP candidates right now. The governors, Kasich, Bush, and Christie had a strong night, especially Christie seemed to push all his chips on the table. But do you have a sense if they don't do well in New Hampshire, any of them will drop out?
I would guess that there's 3 governors actually, obviously still competing in this race. 2 of them, or maybe 1 of them, are only going to go on from here. And so I think you're going to see 1 or 2 of the governors after Tuesday really seriously consider and drop out. They may take a little while, but I think you're only going to see 1 governor and at most 2 governors come out of New Hampshire Tuesday night.
So high, these stakes. Matt Dowd, we always love having you on and getting your analysis. We appreciate it.